What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Too Savage for Democrats show. My name is Dylan, and I am your host, and we have got a wonderful show coming to you guys today. Yesterday, we did the video on the channel about Hillary Clinton's scandal, that thing that I was talking about that I really think is going to hurt Hillary Clinton. If you want to check that out, it's my video from yesterday. I didn't do a full show because I was doing that, but we're back to the full show today. We got a lot to talk about, a lot going on with George Soros and the Pope. Apparently, George Soros paid off the Pope and is just using the Pope to push his globalist agenda. We've got that and many other stories coming to you guys today for the Too Savage for Democrats show. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you stay tuned. And at the end, if you enjoyed it, just hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we're good to go. So let's get right into it. So we're going to jump right into this Pope story because I think this is the biggest one of the day, to be honest. And this is a big story. This is something that, this has to do with George Soros. This is part of the whole George Soros leaked documents thing. All those documents got leaked. And this is just proving the amount of power that George Soros has. If you come out, and this happens to me a lot, this happens to a lot of other channels that I see that also like to talk about the globalists and them trying to take over and gain control and stuff like that. People don't understand how much power these people have. George Soros is very, very powerful, more powerful than a lot of people understand. And so if you bring up George Soros on a podcast or if you bring up George Soros on a show, a lot of the times people just brush it off. People are like, oh, that's no big deal. It's just conspiracies, everything like that. And that's what people assume. It's not a conspiracy at all, ladies and gentlemen. These people are trying to take they don't care about the interest of the citizens of any of these countries. They don't care about the best interest of they want to make themselves richer and more powerful. That's all they care about, because the power seek power. That's proven. If you have power, it's not like proof, but you know what I mean. If you have power, you seek to gain more power. And that's why one of the big reasons why we had the checks and balance system in the Constitution, and why we have, why George Washington said, he didn't want to be a king, and why he stepped down and all that kind of thing. You don't want to grow too powerful, because once you've been in power, you just seek more and more and more at the cost of freedom of the people. So the more power that you gain as a leader, typically the people lose power. And George Soros and all these globalists, they don't care about the people. Again, all they care about is power, and there's nothing stopping them. They have the money to buy influence, and that's exactly what they're doing. And that's what we're talking about here with this Daily Caller story. Leaked document shows Soros spent $650,000 to influence Pope Francis on economic and racial justice issues. The Pope, of all people, the Pope of the Catholic Church. I figured that was one of the places where, you don't go. You influence all these other types of people, but the Pope, at the point where the Pope is getting involved, we got a problem, ladies and gentlemen, honestly. But we're going to read into this, and I'm going to get you guys' input on this. And remember, at any time during the show, if you want to get in on the conversation, you can just comment down below. I read everybody's comment. I might not respond to all of them just because this goes up on my second channel, but I try to respond to every single comment. So if you guys want to comment down below, I'll respond to as many as I can. We can have a conversation down there. You can always email me. You can find the email in the link in my Instagram bio at 2_savage_4_Democrats. Many of ways to get in contact with me, and we can get everything worked out. So, have a discussion, whatever you want. So, this is from the Daily Caller. George Soros Open Society Foundation spent $650,000 in an effort to influence Pope Francis during his visit to the United States, a leaked document reveals. The document is an agenda for a May 2015 New York meeting of the U.S. Programs Division of the Open Society Foundations. It states that it has allocated $650,000 for a grant related to Pope Francis's September 2015 visit to the United States. The group DC Leaks have released over 2,000 documents within the group associated with Soros. Here is a quote. In order to seize the moment, we will support PICO's organizing activities to engage the Pope on economic and racial justice issues, including using influence of Cardinal Rodriguez, and that's the Pope's senior advisor, and sending a delegation to visit the Vatican in the spring or summer to allow him to hear directly from low-income Catholics in America, the document states. So this is not good. So they're basically using the Pope Francis, one of his close friends. They say they're literally best friends. Cardinal Rodriguez and he goes from Honduras. He's literally described as Pope Francis' best friend. He's been described multiple times. So obviously Pope Francis listens to this guy. George Soros sees that, and their whole organization sees that. If you don't think George Soros is behind this, you're ridiculous. He's definitely behind this. George Soros sees all that and decides, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to push my globalist agenda. And he goes, allocates all this money just to influence the Pope. Now, the Pope is a big figure. When the Pope comes to speak, people listen. People are listening to what the Pope has to say. People want to know what the Pope has to say. And, what he says could influence future policy decisions that our congressmen make and our Catholic, people in government make, Christian even. Catholics are Christians, but you know what I mean. It could influence that. And he's being bought and sold by George Soros. So all of his things he's saying here is just to help the globalist George Soros BS. The document goes on to state, quote, the grant will also support FPL's media framing and public opinion activities, including conducting a poll to demonstrate that Catholic voters are responsive to the Pope's focus on income inequality and earning media coverage that drives the message that being pro-family requires addressing growing inequality. So they're basically now they're faking polls, which that's not weird. That's not anything that they don't do ever. I mean, we see fake polls all the time. All you have to do is just look at the current polls for the presidential race. They're all faked. They're trying to keep people home, and unfortunately it might work, but that's their goal. So people fake polls all the time, but they're faking polls to trick the Pope into thinking, hey, look, this is the issues that the American people really care about. This is what I need to go speak about. This is what most Catholics care about, because the Pope represents the Catholics, right? He's kind of like the leader. In the flesh, right? He's not God, but... And so he's looking at this saying, hey, look at this. And now he's going to go talk about that. And they're basically pushing his policy decisions. I have never liked this Pope. I think this Pope is a socialist, globalist, Marxist. I don't like this Pope at all. And this just reaffirms, you should not take influence from things like this. You just shouldn't do it. Especially if you're the Pope. Okay? You don't do that. You're letting the people down. The people of your religion that you're supposed to be representing, Pope Francis, you are letting them down. Now, I know a lot of people like Pope Francis. A lot of my listeners like Pope Francis. That's fine. You can like Pope. That's okay. I'm not saying that you're a horrible person if you like Pope Francis. I'm just saying that I don't agree with the decisions Pope Francis has made, and it seems like all he wants to do is push his political agenda as the Pope. The Pope shouldn't even be involved in American politics. I'm sorry, but the Pope does not come to our country and tell us what to do, okay? He can go, run the Vatican. By the way, talk about letting people in. He's got walls around the entire Vatican. Big, beautiful walls, as Trump would say. So talk about building bridges, not walls. You've got walls around the entire Vatican, dude. What are you talking about? And then he's coming back, talking about, and he has like the 3 refugees in for dinner, and he's acting like that's a big gesture, meaning we should bring in refugees if the Pope can have 3 of them in for dinner. I hate how people are so influenced by what the Pope does. They feel like they need to make decisions here in the United States. The Pope having 3 refugees to dinner after they've been, gone through security for hours, making sure nothing's going on before they come sit with him. That doesn't mean that we should bring in refugees. We care about our safety. We don't have a vetting system that's up to par. We can't just be allowing refugees to come in, right? Because there's a lot more than 3. There's hundreds of thousands. And Hillary Clinton wants to, multiply by like a lot? I don't know the exact number. I forgot. But the number that Obama wants to take in, she just wants to up that. Of course, and you know why? It's because these people come in here and they vote Democrat. Like these Muslims, they vote Democrat. That's why they want them in here. They don't care. Again, this is the Democrats. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the refugees. They don't care about what's going on in the Middle East. In fact, Obama's foreign policy, along with Hillary Clinton, hasn't done anything to help these people in the Middle East. So it's kind of like they go over there, ruin the Middle East. I'm not saying Bush was any better. We shouldn't have gone to Iraq in the first place or, meddled in the affairs of the Middle East really to begin with, because that just creates problems and makes us stay there forever. If you really want to do anything in the Middle East, we're going to have to be there for like 30 years. And no one wants to do that. So Obama goes and does the same thing. Hillary Clinton's foreign policy is complete total garbage. It just destroys, and she wants to continue it. And the Middle East is in chaos. So basically we go over there, destroy their country. And then we're like, yeah, even though the terrorists said that they'll sneak in with the refugees, sure, we'll let you in. Sure, we'll let you in. We don't care. God, it's just such a disaster, everything that's going on around the world, ladies and gentlemen. And watching it, it's almost funny. It's almost funny in a way to watch what's going on, because it's just, it's horrible, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on. And it's almost just like one bad decision after another, after another, after another. And that's why we need to break the cycle. That's really why I'm in favor of electing Trump, is we need to break this cycle of just horrible decisions that we're making. Not only as a country, but worldwide. Just horrible decisions. You know, you could talk about the refugees coming into Europe, blowing up everything, going on mass shootings, driving trucks through crowds of people. Horrible stuff. And then we want to copy that? Like, does that really seem like a good decision at all? Like, in any way, shape, or form. Like, you look on the news, you see that refugees in countries with high gun control, they get a hold of a truck, and they drive through a ton of people, kill a ton of people. And then we're like, oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll bring them in anyway. What? Why? Why are you bringing in refugees when you know how dangerous they can be? Oh, yeah, that's right. You want votes. Because, again, you don't care about the people. God, it's such a disaster. All right, let's move on. So did you guys know that it has been 263 days since Hillary Clinton's done a press conference? This is ridiculous. 263 days, ladies and gentlemen. And a lot of people don't even notice it, right? Because it's kind of like, you know, it just goes on and on and on. She's not doing these press conferences, and you don't really notice it. You're not really paying attention. But it has been 263 days since she has come out into the public and held a press conference. I mean, what is going on? And it doesn't count when she comes out and answers questions from people from the press that she picks and chooses to be there. That doesn't count. That's nonsense. I'm talking about a legitimate press conference, 263 days, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's crazy. She's not being held accountable for anything. And the media... Okay, let me just ask you this. Could you imagine if Donald Trump decided that he wasn't going to do a press conference for 263 days? I mean, he wouldn't be able to get away with it, first of all. They would be all over him. The media will be asking him questions. What's he hiding? Is he racist? Is it stupid? Is it this? Is it that? Hillary Clinton, she hasn't had one for 2 years. Not one word from the media. When she actually has stuff to hide, that's the funny thing, is she actually has things to hide. The media isn't asking anything. They don't even care. They don't care about it. 200, lady, that's a long time. There's only 365 days in a year. It's almost been a year. It's like 100 days away from a year. And she hasn't done one press conference. She hasn't answered one question from the press. And she's done interviews, but those are different. You can edit those and prepare for those. Press conferences, that's a whole different story. But what does she have to hide? That's my question. You know, I mean, obviously there's questions about her health, which we've gone over during the show. We've discussed her health. CNN, they say you don't need to worry about her health because you should trust them. That's literally their explanation for it. Don't worry about Hillary Clinton's health. Just trust us. Trust us. We'll guide you in the right direction. The Clinton News Network, the people who clearly support Clinton, cut off the mics, interrupt people who support Trump. Trust them on Hillary Clinton because they're obviously fair and balanced, right? She has the emails to hide. The whole email situation. She's trying to sweep that under the rug and hide that, which, by the way, as we talked about yesterday in that short video, that's actually hurt her. Her deciding that she wants to try to hide all the email situation, that's harming her in the long run because that's just pushing back when the emails are going to come out. The federal judge ordered that the emails be processed by and produced by September 23rd, which that's not that much time. And then they're going to come out mid-October, right before the election, in the middle of the debates. There's going to be all these emails coming out. Trump's going to have plenty of ammunition. It's just that is what Trump has to look forward to, you know, in terms of that's going to help him. But it really shouldn't even be about winning the election. When it comes to the emails and they're going to be released, I don't even think about it as, yeah, this is going to help Trump, right? Obviously, I say that because it's going to, but I don't think of it that way. I like to hope that this is going to create transparency in government and maybe show future politicians that they can't get away with stuff like this. You know, what the Clintons do when they get away with everything, what does that show to future politicians? Ones that are going in, that they can get away with anything. That if you're a politician, you have the power to do whatever you want and no accountability. You're not held to any accountability and blah, 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 blah. Because the Clintons get away with it. So I hope that but I think this is good. Like, I really want to know what was going on in there because she deserves to be in jail, in my opinion. I think she should be. The FBI would have... See, the FBI, that chief didn't want to lose, pardon me, his job. He was protecting his job. And that's why I didn't indict her. Because there was all this information. He came out in that indictment meeting and was like, oh, she did this, she did this, she did this, she did this. But no indictment. I was like, what the Moses? But, yeah, I'm not as excited for these emails to come out just because I want Trump to win. I actually want accountability in government. I want our politicians to be held responsible for the decisions they make and the laws that they break, intentionally, by the way. She knew it was against the law. She knew she was sending classified information back and forth. She's not stupid. She knows what she's doing. And she decided to do it anyway. So she was in full knowledge of what she was doing. She decides to do it anyway. That's unacceptable. So she should be held accountable for that. If Donald Trump did that, it'll be the end of his career. If Donald Trump holds a campaign rally at a place that a Democrat decides isn't okay, that's the end of his campaign. You know what I mean? Donald Trump's walking on this thin ice. Hillary Clinton's got ice and thick ice underneath her, I guess you could say, as she's walking, because she's not even having to tread softly, which now she is, because people are actually starting to get on top of this. But, I mean, before it was just insane. It was insanity. 200, and that's, it bothers me. I'm looking through the news. 263 days? I mean, what are we doing? Is the media ever going to come out and ask questions? Are they ever going to try to hold her accountable for anything? She's hiding Benghazi. She's hiding her health. She's hiding the email scandal. Just so much stuff. What about the people that are dying that are up against the Clintons? I saw this video. I don't remember the exact names, but they had names of people on there. People that had died that had gone against the Clintons like in the past year. 5 of them or something like that, just dead. And then she just keeps adding to the list of these people and we don't know that the Clintons are tied to that. I'm not saying that the Clintons are automatically behind all these killings, but it's weird when, you're not sure, and this was legitimately one of the cases. They weren't sure if he died in his sleep or in the bathroom. Because, that's very hard to determine which one happened. Did you die in your sleep or did you die in the bathroom? Or where'd you find him? Did you find him in the bathroom? Well, you probably didn't find him in the bathroom, then he probably didn't die in the bathroom. Like, it's really easy to figure out. But I'm not saying the Clintons did it. I'm just saying there's some sketchy details. But I want to know what's going on. I want, and I think it's important. There should be, it should almost be required in a way to do these press conferences. I know that sounds authoritarian, but it almost should be. If you're running for office, the people should be able to hear what you have to say. They should be able to know you. What Hillary Clinton is doing is basically hiding herself. And everyone knows this, so it's not like I'm sharing anything new with you guys. She's hiding herself so that she doesn't have to be held accountable for anything. So she doesn't have any questions, so she can make it so people like her. Because her likability is horrible, just like Donald Trump's. And she's trying to make sure that she stays likable. And those numbers don't drop. And the only way to do that is literally to not let her speak. Because if she speaks at all, people are like, I hate that woman. She's just got one of those voices, like when you hear her speak, I hate her. She tries to tell the Pokemon Go joke. You hate her. Just not a charming person in any way. And so she's trying to hide herself. Donald Trump doesn't even care. He's out there doing press conferences. He's out there doing rallies. He doesn't care what people think. And I like that about Donald Trump, but at the same time, it's hurting his likability. Maybe Donald Trump should be the one that's not doing the press conferences. But after he's revamped this campaign, guys, I'm telling you, he's turned this thing around. This race. Going down to Louisiana did a really good thing, but now he's doing teleprompter speeches. His campaign seems like it's getting back on track. It's just, there's so much good going on with Donald Trump right now in his campaign that I'm actually really excited to see where this goes. But anyway, I've got a lot more stories to cover before the 30 minutes is up today for the show, so let's keep moving on. So apparently there's this new movement called the Trumpocrats. This is a new thing. But before we get into that, I just want to tell you guys, new poll came out in Florida by Florida Atlantic University. Donald Trump, 43%, Hillary Clinton, 41%. Great poll for Donald Trump, obviously, but you should still be, cautious when judging the polls. That's only a 2-point difference, so that's really not going to be. But anyway, so let's get back into the core of what I was about to talk about. Trumpocrats are apparently a new thing. I'm reading Breitbart here. New York's Meet the Trumpocrats, or so the sizable collection of lifelong Democrats breaking with their party because of their disgust with nominee for President Hillary Rodham Clinton and supporting, instead, Donald J. Trump. Christian Rickers, that's the guy's name, the Virginia-based executive director of the Trumpocrats PAC, a super PAC designated to help his like-minded lifelong Democrats abandon, blah, blah, blah. So there's a whole group of people, and I'm not even going to read into the whole story because I guess you guys kind of understand what's going on with this, but they're rallying all over the place, and they're trying to stop Hillary Clinton. This is something you saw when Reagan ran. Reagan had the Reagan Democrats is what they called them, come out to vote for him, and that was good. It helped him win the election. The election. Donald Trump needs something similar. He needs the Trumpocrats, I guess is what we're going to call them, and they are going to be the ones that come out and vote for Trump and the Democrat. But he needs a lot of them. He needs to make up. He's not going to get the conservative vote. It's going to be similar to Romney, and he's going to have to make some big changes, I should say, to how he's presenting himself and who he's appealing to if he wants to get the conservative vote. Both Romney and McCain didn't get it, and they both lost. I mean, McCain was going to lose either way, but I think Romney could have won that election if he had played his cards right. But Trump's not going to get it either, so the only way he can really win this election, and this is very important, not really the only way, but I would argue it's one of the most important things, he needs to start trying to get some of these Democrats that would be voting for Hillary Clinton to come over to his side. He needs to get those independents that are maybe on the fence over to his side. A couple of things he could do there. But this Trumpocrat thing is helping. This is exactly what he needs. And apparently, they're going to tour the Rust Belt. They have this whole organization. They're going to tour the Rust Belt to energize Democrats for Trump against Hillary. Now, before we even get into this, I'm going to say I don't think this is going to work that well. I don't think that a bunch of Democrats saying they support Trump are going to walk around. I mean, think about it this way. If a group of Republicans or conservatives were to rally and make, Hillary-publicans or something, I'm trying to think of a way to merge, like Clinton-publicans, Clinton Republicans, and they were to walk around the Rust Belt and start telling people that they should vote for Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump because he's too much of a liberal and Hillary Clinton has experience, everything like that. What is the response from the Democrat or the Republicans going to be? I mean, the response from the Republicans is going to be these guys are sellouts, these guys are horrible people, they're evil. I mean, look at the response to Ted Cruz when he just refused to support Donald Trump. That's all he did. Was he just withheld an endorsement? He gets booed off the stage of the Republican National Convention, possibly ending his political career. I don't think so. I might have definitely put a hurt on it. And that's not good, right? So that's just one person. Now, if a bunch of Republicans went out and did that, that'd be just the whole thing. They'd be scum. It's kind of like the Never Trump movement. They're just hated by the Republicans, complete scum. No one likes them. Similar to this Trumpocrats or Trumpocrats. Very similar to that. Drop my pen. The Democrats are just calling these people sellouts, calling them horrible people, right? It's not going to make a difference to a lot of Democrats. I mean, they're not going to be able to convince that many people. That's just the honest. But so they're going to tour the Rust Belt. She's not trustworthy on almost every single issue. This is Rickers said to Breitbart. He said, quote, "They are the architects of pretty much what has gutted out rural America and the Rust Belt, and that's the reason the Rust Belt is rusting." Now, my opinion is people in Pennsylvania and people in coal country, Hillary Clinton said she wants to put coal miners out of jobs. If you vote for her, you're an idiot and you're asking for it. If you vote for Hillary Clinton and you lose your job when she takes office, that's on you, dog. Because she told you that that was gonna happen. She literally came out and said, we're gonna put coal miners out of business. And so if you're voting for her, you're dumb. You're literally throwing your job away. Donald Trump doesn't want to put coal miners out of business, so vote for him if you want to keep your job. But yeah, I mean, I think this movement's pretty cool. Anything we can get, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, is good. We definitely don't want to see this sort of negative attention toward Donald Trump all the time. So it's nice to see something positive. I hardly ever get a chance to see it, and I'm sure you guys kind of feel the same way, where it's very rare to see positive support for Donald Trump and everything like that. So anyway, that's where we're going to end the show today, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Too Savage for Democrats show. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and share the video and leave a thumbs up. I will catch up with you guys tomorrow for the Friday show. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.